Happy Thursday, everyone, and I'm going to make the low of my day quick. Last night, The Masked Singer was a clip show. Okay, listen, it wasn't a bad clip show, and we got some really great, performances and everything, but, come on, I'm expecting some hype here. We also got a few new hints of the Supreme Six, as we're calling him. And if you want, that's really not entirely fair. There were good performances. The clues were actually really clever. And I personally have my pick for who I want to see in the quarterfinals. Specifically, Medusa. Yeah, if you ask me, I think the winner of this season of The Masked Singer is going to be a woman. And it's either going to be Medusa, making it to the Final Four as the only underdog, or it's going to be UFO. Yeah, the California roll, come on. If that's not Pentatonics, then I pass for Queen Bey. Alright, that's how serious I am about the fact it's Pentatonics. Has that even said Queen? Do they even still say Queen Bey anymore? Okay, it's my video. I'll say that. So, do I have any high at all? Why, yes, I do. I saw someone very important to me for the first time in a month. I got to have some family time with my mom and dad, of course. I did watch The Masked Singer with my mom. That was really fun. Again, it was a clip show. And I actually do have a topic for today, which involved watching something that I was a bit hesitant on watching. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And my act of kindness was helping set up and clear the table for dinner. My mom made beef stew with some bread and butter. We all good. It was a good dinner with family. So, again, about what I saw yesterday. I wasn't sure if I was going to watch this. I really wasn't. Because, I'll get to why in a minute. Because in order for me to get into that, I need to talk about what I watched. Hold on. I felt the sneeze coming on. I had to stop there. So, yesterday on Netflix, Power Rangers Once and Always premiered. Now, I have said this several times in the past, but for those of you who don't know, I grew up watching Power Rangers. From Mighty Morphin all the way to SPD. So, from the time I was about 3 until I was about a sophomore in high school. That's how much I watched it. And, by all accounts, they were my first introduction to, modern day superheroes. Technically Power Rangers is based on, Super Sentai, which lasted decades before we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. In fact, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers were originally not going to be the very first, season of Power Rangers we were ever going to get. The reason why we got the Dino Rangers is because, dinosaurs, and kids love dinosaurs. That's why we got it. And if you never saw the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there is an evil witch named Rita who escapes from a space dumpster, and she wants to conquer the nearest planet, which happens to be Earth. Zordon, a very powerful entity for good, along with the help of Alpha 5, recruits a team of 5 teenagers with attitude. And in the end, we got Zach, Trini, Kimberly, Billy, and their leader, Jason. Eventually, there would be a 6th Ranger, named Tommy Oliver, who Rita turned evil. But with the help of the Rangers uniting, they turned him good, and he became a very powerful ally. And eventually, the leader of the Power Rangers. One can argue that Tommy Oliver is the greatest Ranger of all time, and I will not dispute that. Personally, I think it's a tie between him and... listen, for me, no one's ever going to replace the original 6. Again, I've seen Power Rangers all the way from Mighty Morphin to SPD. I've seen some great Rangers. Damn great Rangers. Carter Grayson, Wes Collins, Andros, Leo, Cole Evans, Jack and Sky from SPD. I could go on and on. Although I know for a fact I just named a whole lot of Red Rangers. My point is, the fact that after so many years, and listen, there was controversy on and behind the scenes of the original Power Rangers show. Specifically that David Yost had to leave because, he was being, ridiculed for being gay, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. Not to mention, the original Black Ranger and the original Yellow Ranger were played by both a black man and an Asian woman. And when you get to both Zeo and Turbo, they were both played by a man of... The Red Ranger was both played by a man of Native American descent. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know this, but Jason David Frank is of Native American heritage. Oops. So, naturally, controversy is... Well, you're getting controversy every show you ever watch, so might as well get used to it, right? Well, regardless of how you feel about it. And personally, I didn't care then. I don't care now. Because at the end of the day, I had fun. Sometimes even got scared. Seriously, Lord Zed scared me when I was a kid. Like, I would have to leave the room if he was ever on stream. But I came right back in to keep watching. So, you probably want to know the promise for once and always. Well, it takes place many years into the future, where David Yost, who plays Billy, is trying to bring back Zordon, and he winds up bringing back Rita Repulsa. In the ensuing battle that happens, well, actually, I should say, Rita Repulsa possesses Alpha 8's body, who now she has a robot body. In the ensuing battle that happens, Trini takes a very deadly blast from Rita that was meant for Billy. So basically she sacrificed herself and she died. In the aftermath, both Billy and Zach, played once again by Walter Emmanuel Jones, had decided what they're going to do with Trini's daughter Min, because that's all she has. So around a year later, Zach had given up his job as a politician to help raise Min, because, she's a kid. Someone's got to raise her, right? And in the meanwhile, Min is trained to fight Rita to avenge her mom. And basically, the story is like several different things. Rita's back, and she has a plan, and the Rangers have to go stop her. Meanwhile, Min is trying to avenge her mother, while also trying to learn what it means to be a hero. And Rita Repulsa's goal is she's stealing Power Rangers from all over the Earth. So they have established that there's other Rangers all over Earth. And they've also established the fact that there are, Rangers on different planets too. So it's not like it was only Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and that was it. And the reason why Rita wants to steal Power Rangers, one of her henchmen, Slizzard, is back, and he has the ability to both trap and turn the Rangers in little inanimate object dolls, or even though they look like action figures, which is cool. Anyway, Rita's plan is she wants to siphon the Power Rangers' power, and she wants to build a time machine. Her goal is to go back in time to her younger self tell her about all the events that happened, obviously destroy the original 6 Power Rangers before they have an opportunity to strike, before Zordon has an opportunity to recruit them, and she's able to take over the world. Naturally, at the end, they destroy Rita, and they save the day. Min becomes the Yellow Ranger, the next Yellow Ranger, and she's able to avenge her mom, but in a smart way. Billy and seriously, this movie was only like 55 minutes. I don't know if you call it a movie, but for the sake of the fact I'm calling this a MoReas episode, I'll say a movie. This movie was legit supposed to highlight just how important Power Rangers is to the entire fan base at large. Oh, trust me, Power Rangers has a huge fan base. Good Lord. I mean, not to the heights of, say, Star Wars or Harry Potter, mind you, but there's a lot of them, and they are both strong and mighty, okay? So, the fact that we got to see, at the very least, because here's the thing, and this is why I was hesitant watching this. They didn't get all the original 6 to come back. Amy, I forget her full name, who plays Kimberly, she wasn't there. Austin St. John wasn't there to play Jason. And then there's what happened to both Thuy Tay, who played Trini Kwan, and Jason David Frank, who played Tommy Oliver. As back in 2001, Thuy Trang had died from cancer, and Jason David Frank had just passed away last year. And admittedly, that's why I was hesitant watching this. I mean, could this be the last legitimate ride that we get from the from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? I mean, is this all we're gonna get? But then I started watching, and I'm like, you know what? For what is going on here, it's right. And again, they legitimately honor, really it was more to honor Thuy Trang, simply, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong, but the actor who played Trini, because since Trini died in real life, it makes sense that you write her off, but show a little respect for it. And I feel that's like what they did. And they sort of did that with Tommy too, even though Tommy really wasn't mentioned a lot. Meanwhile, there's also the fact they had to bring back Steve Cardenas as Rocky, and Catherine, I'm sorry, I forget her full name, but who plays a cat. That's convenient. I always thought that was kind of convenient. Anyway, to, stop Rita. And, they did. And it really was great seeing these actors go back to their roles and be in their colors. Rocky was red, Catherine was pink. I mean, look, people are still gonna say some of the fact that you have Walter Emmanuel Jones, a man of African descent, playing Zack, the Black Ranger. But honestly, I always thought he was a hero then, and he's a hero now. So maybe you shouldn't take my word for it, because by all accounts, I am a dumb white guy. But I didn't care. Again, I didn't care then. I didn't care now. I didn't care that, Thuy Trang, who was an Asian woman, played the Yellow Ranger. I didn't care then. I didn't care now about the fact that David Yoss, was being, ridiculed. Because I'm a dumb kid. I'm just watching a really good show that I still remember to this very day. And I feel as if they did a really good job with it. Not to mention all the references were great. Like, too much pink energy is too dangerous. Zack brought back hip hop keto. And we also had a few cameos from the actors that played Aisha and Adam. Specifically, Adam, played by John Young Bosch, who over the years has become a very prolific voiceover actor. You would probably know him as Ichigo from Bleach, but he's done a lot of great voiceover work over the years. So just all these great cameos and references. In fact, Aisha and Adam are members of Space Patrol Alpha, which I mentioned SPD. SPD is Space Patrol Delta. So Adam and Aisha are legitimately the first of the Space Patrol. I don't know at what point it becomes Delta, mind you, but, that's really cool. And you hear references to planets like Marinoid and Aquitar, and places on Earth like Reefside, Mariner Bay. I just realized, there was a fight in the juice bar which took place in Angel Grove. They never said Angel Grove. I just realized that. So, suffice it to say, if you are a Power Rangers fan from way back in the day, you need to give this a watch. It's a must watch. If you were like me and you were a little hesitant on watching it just because, Thuy Trang and Jason David Frank are gone, I get it. Believe me, I was feeling it too. But give it a chance. You're still going to be entertained. You're still going to have fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. For me, though, easily the funniest reference was the whole too much pink energy being too dangerous. That's a reference only diehard Power Ranger fans are going to get. I know the reference. I'm such a nerd. And you're probably wondering, why is Billy trying to bring back Zordon? Well, at the end of Power Rangers in Space, Andros, the Red Ranger at the time, he had to destroy Zordon because the Alliance of Evil was legitimately about to conquer Earth and probably the rest of the universe. With Zordon destroying himself, it released a power called the Z-Wave. And it both temporarily shut off the Morphin grid, and it wiped out all the rest of the evil in the universe. Not permanently and completely, mind you. Power Rangers is still a very lucrative franchise. I'll get to that in a second. So you gotta have money. We've got to have money. Anyway, and keep in mind, I say temporarily shut off the morphing grid. Basically, if you were morphed when the Z-Wave happened, you were demorphed temporarily. That's all it was. So nothing too serious, mind you. You can morph again later, just fine. If anything, just more like reset the morphing grid. And the power of the morphing grid is a very great thing with endless possibilities. So it is possible. And at the end of the movie, Billy's like, you know what? Maybe I'll try bringing back Zordon. Listen, there's no way he could bring back Rita Repulsa again. So it is possible you could bring back Zordon. We all love Zordon, He recruited the original 5. And was very instrumental in bringing back Tommy. So there you go. So now the question remains, will this be the last time we see anyone of the original Mighty Morphin crew don the mantle of Ranger? Well, here's my thought on that. Because the movie has an opening narrative sequence that you can read where, in 1993, Rita Repulsa escaped and Zordon recruited 5 teenagers with attitude and stuff like that. In the decades since, there have been many young men and women who have donned the mantle of Ranger. If they ever actually do another thing like this again, I could totally see them go, again, just like the morphing grid. There are endless possibilities. I could totally see Billy trying to bring back Zordon again. I could totally see other Rangers joining the fray from other Ranger teams. I could totally see, another group of teenagers with attitude, one of them including Trini's daughter, Min, to don the mantle of the Dino Rangers. Not to mention, it's so awesome hearing Richard Horvitz voice Alpha again. Richard Horvitz is awesome. If you don't know who Richard Horvitz is, a lot of people would know him as the voice of Invader Zim. Yes, Invader Zim. Cool, huh? So, again, much like the Morphin grid, there are limitless possibilities for what direction they could go in. And considering that I really did enjoy this, if they ever come up with something else, I'll definitely give it a watch, for sure. And regardless of the possibility of anything ever coming next, listen, I just mentioned how mighty the Power Rangers fan base is. There's going to be demand for more. And not to mention, the good folks over at Netflix understand the value of making money and marketing. If there is enough of a demand, and everyone who is on board with Power Rangers once and always gets on board with whatever comes next, then I think we're in good hands. And again, it's profitable, so why not? And I mean, I could go on and on about a whole bunch of other stuff. The return of the original Megazord. Oh, the Megazord was so cool. With better graphics, too. I mean, they kind of had to do that because, modern times, stuff like that. The original Mighty Morphin sequence. Hearing the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers song in the opening. I really could go on and on with just how great this was. You know what can I say? The theme is, once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Well, you know what? Once a Power Rangers fan, always a Power Rangers fan. I hope you all liked this video, and if you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on social media. Turn on notifications on YouTube. As always, I am very humbled to make this video for all of you guys watching. Joe for hopefully a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or channel, we're going to be here to lend you always right back. Take care and make good choices. 607 on the day, baby. Now go forth, and may the power protect you.